Hey there. Today we are in the beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, nestled up here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Asheville's got a lot of history, and we're going to get into that a little bit today. Not only some of the history of Asheville, but what you can look at when you're living here. From commutes to things to do, places to go, a little bit of history, and plenty of beauty along the way. So let's go ahead and take a look around here, finish off with some homes out here and what you can look at as far as architectural style and just home pricing. So let's go ahead and take a look around here as we're walking around. As you can see, there is a lot to do around here in Asheville, littered with a bunch of little shops all over the place. Asheville has a little bit of something for everybody, which is always nice. It's known for a lot of its boutiques. So one of the things you're going to notice when you're walking around downtown Asheville is a lot of little boutiques and stores all over the place. Now, it's nice because Asheville is known for their local shops. You're going to have boutiques all over the place, cafes. Because of all of the boutiques and cafes, it's actually known as like a little Paris because there are so many coffee shops. But beyond that, we also have a lot more. So outside of just a lot of the shops that you can see around down here in Asheville, we have a lot of things for foodies, from unique dining experiences to breweries galore. One of the nice things about North Carolina, there's plenty to do, plenty to drink, plenty to eat. We like our food and there is a lot of variety. So one thing a lot of people know about from Asheville is our breweries. We have breweries all over the place, outside of just the most well-known ones like Wicked Weed, Highland, Highwire. There are a lot of smaller local breweries. One of my personal favorites is Wedge. That's probably one of the first breweries I went to down in the River Arts District. And there's a lot of Asheville to explore. Today we're focusing more on the downtown Asheville. Asheville is a city that has a lot of rich history. And because of that, there's a lot of different neighborhoods that have their own vibe. Today we're focusing more in the downtown Asheville. As you can probably tell from all the buildings around me, that is where we are walking around. It's got a really rich lifestyle out here. When I say rich lifestyle, I'm not just talking money, although it can be an expensive place depending on where you're at. So Asheville is a pretty large area out here. As you can tell, today we're focusing on the downtown Asheville, but there's a lot of different neighborhoods that have a lot of different variety, lifestyles, all of that. We're gonna focus in on those in some of these different videos. But today is all about downtown. As you can probably tell from all of these buildings around me, plenty of cars going by. Asheville is a pretty happening place. Now, I am filming this during the day, during the week, so that's why the streets aren't as full as they normally are. But when you're downtown, you're gonna have beautiful little shops all over the place, fun restaurants all over the place, and a lot of history. One of the things you're gonna notice downtown is that most of the buildings have that classic architecture feel. Fun fact for that is because during the Great Depression, the local leaders of Asheville decided not to forfeit on their loans. They decided to hold on to the debt, and it took them until about 1976 to finally pay it all off. But because of that, we have all of this rich architecture out here and those historic buildings that never were torn down because they didn't have to sell off the land. As a matter of fact, the tallest building you're going to find here in Asheville is right here. This building used to be a BB&T bank. Actually, it might have been a Bank of America. It used to be a bank, but it is now condos and a hotel. So some beautiful views from up there. Lots of areas that you can go and get some drinks up on the rooftops. Beautiful views of the mountains and the city themselves. But let's keep walking around. Now, back in the day, most people came to Asheville because they wanted that fresh air. It's known for a lot of tuberculosis hospitals because people wanted to come here to get that fresh air, get that natural mountain clean to try to cleanse out those tuberculosis lungs. Now, today, most people come to Asheville for pretty much the same reason. Not tuberculosis, but for that outdoor living and the fresh, just mountain air. Because of that, a lot of what you find around Asheville, you're going to find hiking trails, breweries, everything associated with those lifestyles. One of the great things about downtown Asheville, though, is that you can walk these beautiful streets, still be around history, still be around a bunch of nature and trees, and still enjoy yourself. Over here is the square that a lot of other people also come to Asheville for the rich art scene. So outside of just art itself, statues, paintings, We also have a vibrant music scene. A lot of people like to come here. North Carolina, especially Western North Carolina, back in the day was known for two main things: moonshine and bluegrass. So we still hold on to a lot of that. We have breweries for beer. You can still get some moonshine if you know the right people. But over here, we have Pack Square Park behind me. This was a relatively new thing that was built probably about 10 years ago or so. Don't quote me on that one, but it was built fairly recently. And they have a lot of live music there. Live at 5, different concerts coming through, but all free for the public for just coming and enjoying. Awesome bands come through here too. Now, speaking of Asheville's art scene, we are coming up on the Asheville Art Museum. Great place to stop in, go ahead and enjoy. They actually have a terrace upstairs. So if you're working from home, you can actually get a membership there. You can work up there, this nice little cafe. They got some wine for after work. Just kind of go ahead and enjoy yourself. But it is a really fun place to come explore, especially if you are a fan of art. You're gonna see statues all over downtown. You're gonna see placards with history all over the place. And that's just because Asheville has a lot of history, including a battle during the Civil War where absolutely no one died. Now, one thing you can always find around Asheville is some live music. From street performers to people working in any brewery, there is music all over the place. So no matter what your taste, you can find exactly what it is you're looking for. Now, when I'm talking about fun experiences and dining places in and around downtown Asheville, this is a great example. This is the double-decker bus, also a coffee shop, known all over the place around here. Now, this actually used to have the upstairs open, but recently, just because the bus is getting a little bit older, they've shut that down. They have a really fun courtyard in there. Definitely something to check out, kind of a local favorite. Despite the fact that Asheville has plenty of big buildings, it also holds on to that small town feel. Now, Asheville is still a city, even though it is on the smaller end. And even though it's a small city, we refer to it properly. It is downtown Asheville, not uptown. Eyeballing you, Charlotte. But yeah, this is a small town where you still have a lot of that small town feel in a really good way. With less than 100,000 people living in the area, you're definitely gonna know your neighbors. Right over here, we have Pack Square. That is the home of the infamous drum circle. If you've ever talked to any local in Asheville or worked around here, you've probably heard of the drum circle in your research. So this is where that is held. They've done some remodels over the years, but it is a beautiful area to check out. Another way Asheville beats a lot of those larger cities in North Carolina is the commute. Asheville, pretty much getting about anywhere you're trying to go. You know it. Pretty much anywhere you're trying to go in Asheville, you can get there within about 20 minutes. That's some major places. Obviously, there are some back roads you want to get to, but most places are about 20 minutes to get around from the center of downtown. Compared to larger cities, if you're looking around Charlotte, it could take you over 45 minutes just to get from one end to the other. As far as infrastructure goes, there is still traffic. It is still a city environment, but not nearly as bad as a lot of other places. Again, population less than 100,000, you're not gonna run into too much as you're going around. Talking about coffee shops, right over here is a really fun one. Most of the coffee shops around here aren't just coffee. You'll also get beer, wine, some fun areas to drink and enjoy. But they hold on to that classic architecture style. Now here's one of my favorite areas in Asheville personally. It is Battery Park and Wall Street, also known as the Giant Iron Statue, which is funny because it has its own type of flat iron building over here. A lot of rich history going down. One of the favorite reasons I love this street though is because it's 100% walkable, but it's also got the original street. If you're going through, it feels almost like you're walking around in a nice little city in Italy. Having never been to Italy, I make that broad assumption. Early Girl Eatery is a local favorite that a lot of people talk about whenever you're out here. If you ever come to visit, check out Early Girl. Personally, one of my favorites is in Black Mountain, and I'm gonna get to that in another video. If you wanna know where that is, you're gonna have to watch. Now, what you see behind me is the Grove Arcade. So this is a really beautiful building, lots of shops in there. When we first moved to Asheville, I was a young kid. And when I found out we were going to the Grove Arcade, I grabbed a bunch of quarters. It's not that kind of arcade. One of the things that I love about this place, and probably my personal favorite wine bar in the area, is right down here. It's actually in a used bookstore that has turned into a wine bar. Really fun place to be. Great for a date night. Get a little bottle of wine, cocktail, whatever it is you're looking for. And they have a lot of fun in there. So if they are open, I'll do a little walk around in there as well. All right, so they are closed right now, but it is the Battery Park Book Exchange and Champagne Bar. Awesome place to go. Highly recommend if you're going to just kind of explore a little bit. But let's pop into the Grove Arcade and look around a little bit inside. When you're here in the Grove Arcade, you're gonna find a lot of that classic architecture that you're gonna see all around the city. Some really cool things to look for while you're in here. Old phone booths that have been turned into ATMs, but you'll find a lot of different architecture around here. A lot of that is because this is also designed by the same guy that did the Grove Park Inn. So as we covered, there's lots of pros of living in Asheville. There is the beautiful mountain scenery, the fresh air, a mild climate that has 4 seasons, but not a sweltering summer or a freezing winter. You still get snow. We have great foodie paradise. We have awesome breweries all over the place, but there are still a few cons that come around with the city. One of those is the cost of living, right? Asheville does have a little bit of a cost of living with a median house price of about $500,000, if not a little bit more. That doesn't mean that it is unaffordable. There are a lot of options on the lower end. You just got to find the right neighborhoods, and that's why we're taking you through a lot of this today. Another thing that a lot of people complain about is actually the tourists, believe it or not. Now, despite Asheville having over 200 locally owned businesses just downtown, a lot of people do complain about the tourism, especially in fall. People come in riding the Blue Ridge Parkway, looking at all those beautiful leaves up in the mountains. We call those people leafers or leaf peepers. There's a few different names for them, but it does cause some longer waits for restaurants, things like that, some more traffic downtown, some bigger congestion. But flip of that coin, it also provides these local owned businesses a lot of customers. So it is a give and take there. But just like living anywhere, you have your give and takes with where you're trying to live. That is one of the reasons why Asheville is such a beautiful area. Now, I know I've talked a good bit about the breweries and beer options out here in Asheville, but there is a lot more that is available. Despite whatever you're looking for, we've got something here that can help you with your nightlife. Whether it's cocktails, clubbing, bars, breweries, whatever it is you're looking for, Asheville has it. Even if that's just grabbing a tent, going out in the woods and starting a campfire. One thing you're going to find in Asheville is that it is North Carolina's, especially the mountains, true melting pot. When I say that, one of the non-official local slogans is "Keep Asheville Weird." And the reason for that is because it is such an artsy place, everybody's welcome. Everyone is accepted, and we like to have a lot of fun. Now, what you'll see is nice local art everywhere you look. In every nook and cranny, there is something fun to see downtown. Now, this is one of the things my daughter loves the most about being downtown, is the little ferry houses that are hidden along Woodfin, including a nice little ferry apartment. located right next to Chicken Alley. Now, right now we're coming down Woodfin and we are about to take a left on Lexington. What's interesting, this exact corner actually used to be right where the courthouse would do their hangings. So there was a fun little story, fun for us now. Back years ago, there were two brothers that were horse thieves, ended up getting hung right here, and people came from up to 80 miles away to watch the hanging. It was like a party downtown. I guess not too much has changed. Now, beside all the food that we have out here and drinks, Asheville is also known as a wellness heaven because we also have a lot of gyms, yoga studios, retreats, just different ways for you to reconnect with you and get back into a healthy lifestyle. Another benefit of being up in Asheville is that it's within an hour drive of a lot of fun places, from ski resorts to hot springs, going out to other cities such as Charlotte. It's only about a 2-hour drive. You can go out to Cherokee and interact with the tribe, hit the casino. There's a lot to do out there, but as far as that goes, Asheville's a great location for a lot of day trips and going around within just a few hours drive. Now, as far as that goes for me, my personal favorite is snowboarding. So I like to go and do some snowboarding. I'll either go hit Cataloochee Beach, Sugar Mountain, all within North Carolina, all within about 2 hours. As far as that goes, Maggie Valley is definitely the closest with Cataloochee. So being a Western guy, Western North Carolina, that's my go-to. But there's also a lot of places to do things like mountain biking. You can hit up Bent Creek, Pisgah National Park, DuPont, places all over the place. As far as mountain biking, you can go hit up DuPont, Bent Creek, Pisgah. There's places all over for you to explore. Today we are walking around the beautiful Asheville, North Carolina, nestled up here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Asheville is known for not only its food scene, but also its architecture, arts, and healthy living. Personally, I love coming downtown, especially on the weekends, getting a nice cup of coffee, walking around to a lot of the boutiques and shops that are out here. Asheville is actually known for its boutiques and shops as far as one of the smaller cities in North Carolina. Now, despite the fact that it is a smaller city in North Carolina, it is still a city, and we call this downtown. So today we're going to be focusing all about downtown Asheville. As opposed to some of those other larger cities in North Carolina that consider themselves uptown. Looking at you, Charlotte, we have downtown Asheville. And downtown Asheville is a place with plenty to see. Not only are there beautiful parks, a thriving music scene, great arts, great food, great drinks, also a lot to do. So if you are thinking about coming to visit Asheville, North Carolina, or moving to Asheville or the surrounding areas, this is your place to be. We're going to be talking all things Asheville. Going to be talking today not only about what to do, what the commute might look like, also a little bit about home prices. We're going to skip in, look at a couple of properties out here, what they might be able to do for you, and find something that works for you. Despite Asheville having a lot of older architecture, millennials have made their point here, right? So we've got a little bit of a footprint out here, and most of that is down Cox Avenue. So what you have over here is actually a music venue that a lot of people enjoy. It's an outdoor music venue, The Yards. So it is all outdoors. A lot of big bands come out here and play. See if I can kind of give you guys a sneak peek up over the fence. Am I tall enough? I think we might have got it. We will see later on in editing. But we still use a lot of those original buildings out here, and we put up some of our own. But as you can see, walking down Cox, there's a lot to do, and there's even more further down. Now, as downtown is continuing to grow, a lot of people are wanting to be here. Downtown is spreading, and where it's spreading is south, because that is where the most room is for it to spread. Down here is kind of, if you're from the Charlotte area, this is what I would consider the south end of Asheville. Well, with all this walking around, my hair is looking a little shaggy and I'm getting a little thirsty. So I'm gonna pop in for a haircut and a nice cool drink. And then we will look at some brand new homes on the market in the Asheville downtown area. All right, as you can see, I've got a fresh cut in there. I'm feeling a little better hydrated thanks to my friends over at the local Barber and Tap. Now, if you're gonna live here downtown, you wanna be one of those people that lives where the action is. These are some of the options for you. I'm gonna look at a few different values for these properties. So the first one I have for you is right up here, actually, right above the lobster trap up top there. For $350,000, you are looking at a 1-bed, 1-bath condo. Now, this is great for anybody that wants to be, again, where the action is. You want to be downtown, you want to have that lifestyle, you just want to kind of be able to explore, go where you want, and live in a fun downtown condo. This one might be for you. Now, it's about 535 square feet, so it is on the smaller end there, but it is also right downtown at a really good price. As I said earlier, the average price for a home in Asheville is over $500,000. So at $353 for a condo downtown, that's actually a steal. Next one I'm gonna show you is actually right around 1 block down. As you know, Asheville's not the biggest city, so a lot of these are pretty close, but I'm gonna show you 1 block over. All right, so here we are 1 block away. We're over on College Street. And what we're looking at is that condo way up there. So that condo is a little bit more expensive than the last, right? We're looking at $1.3 million for this condo. So, you know, it's a good size. Now, it is over 1,400 square feet. All right, so huge living area, beautiful views out here. It's high enough, you're seeing over the buildings around it, which is beautiful, and you really get a good view. Now, it's also a really open layout, so you're getting a lot of usable space. It's just a nice area to be, and you're probably gonna get woken up in the mornings, especially on the weekends, by right there, the Med. Amazing breakfasts, amazing, amazing brunch. If you like some good food, that is the place for you. All right, so we're right in the middle now, and no pun intended, because the condo is right there in that middle. We saw one that was $350,000. We saw one that was over $1 million. Now we're looking at this guy right here. That property is going, it's a condo, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,100 square feet, $650,000. Again, right in the heart of downtown, right where everybody wants to be. You've got the drum circle happening right over, where are we at? Right over there. So you've got all that fun. You're right down here by all of the action, right by the Grove Arcade. There's a lot happening down here for you to enjoy. Let's go take a quick look at where a $4 million condo would look at and what you'd be getting for $4 million. It's actually really cool. It's one of my favorite spots out here. Oh, something I should mention, actually, this one right here, $650,000, that 1,100 square foot layout, that actually also comes with a working fireplace, which is a nice little add, especially during those nice cozy mountain falls. Leaves are changing, getting a little cooler. Who doesn't want a little fire to snuggle by? All right, so we're finishing up our tour of Asheville, not only the lifestyle, but the properties out here. We've seen a $350,000 condo. We've seen a $650,000 condo, 1.3. Now we're looking at a $4 million condo, over 9,000 square feet. We're looking 4-bath, 3-bed, right up here. Beautiful layout, fully refinished, modernized, but they hold on to a lot of those accents that I love, right? It's got that original brick. It's got those original hardwood floors from that building. It's a classic architecture from Asheville of what you're used to. So go ahead and take a look. If it's something you're interested in, we can definitely talk further. But thanks for following me along on this tour of Asheville. There's a lot to see here, and we're gonna be doing a lot more towns around the area, giving a lot more highlights. If there's anything you wanna see, definitely let me know. Put it down in the comments, all right? I wanna know what you wanna see so that I can show it to you. I'm Dylan Slattery. I'm with the True Lane Group. Thanks for showing up.